Okay, so this is our geocoding assignment. It was done by myself, Matt Rodriguez, and my partner, Olivia Jang.
For this project, the city of Buffalo is divided into 20 study areas. My partner and I picked Zone 2, which is where Elmwood Avenue, Delaware Avenue, Hurdle Avenue, and Coven Avenue are located. To enhance the understanding of the current conditions in our study areas, we picked 20 addresses in the study area to do observation and field research during off-peak hours and peak hours. We collected the data including addresses, number of pedestrians, zip code, weather, time, and date. The purpose of this project is to analyze the data that were collected by using ArcGIS and to observe pedestrian activities in our study areas.
Okay, so we decided to pick our locations based on spacing them out throughout our zone. We didn't want them all concentrated in one area, but we did try and concentrate them along the largest streets where we thought we would observe the largest number of pedestrian counts. We also decided on these locations by looking on Google Maps and determining if it was safe to stand across the street from them, if there was parking areas around, so that it would be a little bit easier for us to gather our field data.
We visited the study area on September 20, September 21, and September 22 during off-peak hours and peak hours to collect the data for this project, which is included addresses, pedestrian counts, zip code, weather, time, and date. Peak hours are from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 10 a.m., and 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Off-peak hours are periods during the day that have the least use of infrastructure. We also used reference data and maps on UBbox.
Yes, and just to clarify, our off-peak hours were any time other than the peak hours we just described above.
To collect data during peak hours, we visited the site on September 20 from 5:10 p.m. to 7:04 p.m. and September 21 from 5:56 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. We selected 20 addresses to observe for this project, and we observed for 10 minutes on each site. The weather on September 20 was sunny. The weather on September 21 was raining and cloudy. To collect data during off-peak hours, we visited the study area on September 21 from 1:07 p.m. to 2:59 p.m. And September 22 from 12:38 p.m. to 3:34 p.m. We selected 20 addresses to observe pedestrian activities. We observed for 10 minutes on each side. The weather on September 21 and 22 was cloudy.
Okay, so for the assembling part of the geocoding project, we had to download data from the shared UBbox folder. We needed to acquire the road files and the parcel files. With this information, along with the tables we created that had the pedestrian counts on them, we had to join our DBF files to the Buffalo Street shape files. During this part of our assignment, we also had to go on Google Street View images and count the number of pedestrians that we observed on those streets on Google Maps.
The differences between using street locators and parcel locators are the spatial reference data. The street locator will match addresses depending on the points on the street map, and the parcel locator will match addresses to the property lines.
Yes, so the parcel ones were a bit harder to match because they weren't looking for exact street locations. They were looking for property shapes or building shapes, things like that, while the street locator was just pinpointing exact locations. And these are our findings. This is our first map. It was a comparison of street-based and parcel-based geocoding results. Like I said before, we did have some trouble with matching our addresses. Most of them had to be manually matched on the map, especially the parcel ones. There were none that showed scores of 100. So this all had to be fixed, and you could view the differences between the area where the parcel plotted the location, which are the little green triangles, and then the location where the street locator plotted them, which is exactly on the streets. Then this map is a map of our peak pedestrian count volumes. With the symbology tool on ArcMap, we were able to differentiate the sizes of the figures. So as the number of pedestrians increased, so did the shape of the symbology. And then the same thing for off-peak hour volumes, but they also share patterns between them. The largest counts were on the main roads, like we had mentioned before. The main roads would probably observe the largest counts of pedestrians. And then for our last map, we were unfortunately not able to plot the streets onto the map, only the counts from Google Street View, not our own fieldwork, which would highlight the entire, not the entire portion rather than just one point. And we will be revising this for next week.
Some restriction during data collection may include weather conditions, limited observation period, and ongoing construction events in Elmwood Avenue. Restrictions during data processing and assembling are unfamiliar uses of software operations. Since we're still learning how to use ArcGIS and ArcMap, those factors can potentially affect the result.
Yes, I agree with my partner. I would definitely say that these factors all affect our results, especially the field data results. In the northern portion of our zone, there was a lot of construction, and this would change bus patterns or traffic patterns that would therefore change pedestrian patterns. Weather conditions would also do the same thing. It's most likely there will be less people walking on the street if the weather conditions are less than optimal.
From this project, we learned how to collect data from field research and our study areas. We also reinforced our skills with ArcGIS and ArcMap during data processing and assembling by analyzing pedestrian counts on different dates and the 20 addresses that we selected. This activity will help us better understand the geographic location of the city and the pedestrian activities and the software operation.
Yes, all our results are very important, and further sampling would make it even more valuable for organizations or town departments that need this data to be able to plot traffic lights, stop signs, crosswalks, also for setting up new bus stations, or hiring crossing guards for the city and the town. So all this data is very important, and we gained a lot from this project. Thank you.
Thank you.